Every evening, the Bensimas, who lived in a frame house across from the Petersons on the west side of Green Street, were always the first to settle on their porch. Supper dishes washed and laid to rest, newspaper sports section in hand, Carl led his wife and 2 boys to their porch and waited for the neighbors to make their appearances. It was a source of Bensima pride that they were the first to their porch. Their unimpressed neighbors knew the Bensimas had little else going for them. Carl was a man of many grievances, ready to unload on anyone who might listen. His sense of personal injustice and long list of complaints fueled his sullen demeanor. According to Carl, he'd been taken advantage of at his job at the Pullman yard, and now, with his red face clenched like a fist, Carl would tell anyone who listened that the neighborhood was going to hell in a handbasket. Carl had all the subtlety of a bazooka. Florence Bensima longed for a pleasant conversation on the porch with her husband, but it rarely happened. When he wasn't griping about work or the neighborhood, Carl griped about the White Sox. Since she wasn't interested in Jungle Jim Rivera, Sherman Lawler, or Early Wynn, there was little to talk about. Maybe if Florence had chosen to learn about the White Sox, things might have opened up. But baseball didn't matter to her, and her daily life at home didn't matter much to Carl. Their 2 boys, Carl Jr. and Richard, were too young for the Green Street boys and kept to themselves, never saying much, fearing the disapproval of their father. Life on the Bensima porch was quiet, stifling, and still. So, Florence Bensima pinned her hopes on the arrival of the neighbors, a summer evening ritual that chased the loneliness of her marriage, if only for a few hours. The Clements, whose house was next to the Bensimas, were also on their small porch each night. They would wait for the Peterson family to show across the street, since the Bensimas were so dull and conversations rare. The Petersons would wave and walk over for a chat. Most every afternoon, George Clement would stop for a bump at Donegan's Tavern, and he appreciated that the Petersons let him cut through their yard on the way. Nothing like a shortcut to build a friendship.